everybody. Good morning, Jean here. I've been doing my due diligence on my YouTube channel, and I've realized that you people, perhaps more beginners, would like me to expand my tutorials into perhaps some other things other than quilting per se. I'm a quilter, I make quilts, that's what I do. But as I was saying yesterday when I made my video, I also do lots of other stuff. I make lots of crafty little things, all sewing things. And I was thinking, why not? And people do have the opinion, like, as I was saying, you want to make small little gifts for people. Gift making, handmade things is really a thing of the past. It's becoming a neglected art. You can go buy stuff for like so cheap. You can go buy a pillow for $4, $5. Why are you going to spend, you know, $10, $12, $14 a yard? That mentality is really sad, I think. It's really sad. So putting that sadness aside, if you're here and you want to create something with your hand, I just have this incredible need to create. As you know, I created children for so long, and now I create things, quilts. I like lots of stuff. So I've been making quilts. I've been concentrating on that, but I also wanted to show you. I have done craft shows, like I was saying, and I just wanted to show you just a few of the little silly things that I have made that have sold, and they're silly, but they've taken me 2 seconds to make. Some of them, these are, I was messing about one day. My kids were going back to England. They were born in England, so they were going home for a visit. And my one son said, "Oh, Mom, where's my passport?" So I dug up his passport, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, "Do you have a money wallet? Do you have a money belt for it to be safe?" And he's like, yeah. I'm like, "What?" We had a folder for all of his travel papers. So I said, "Why don't I make you a little passport folder?" So I just whipped up a little folder, a little wallet for passports. Well, a couple of his friends really liked them, so I made a bunch of these little passport. There's like I mean, literally, it's a scrap of fabric. Pretty one, little dots. Yeah, so I just made these little, again, they're literally scraps of fabric, but they're made nice. You stick your passport in there. The concept of a wallet, I actually made myself, I don't have it here, I made myself a wallet with a magnetic closure with a credit card holders. It was so fiddly and stupid. I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to go up to Walmart and buy myself a $5 wallet. It was dumb. It took me like 4 hours to make this stupid wallet. So I wouldn't make that. But this, something like that. I may or may not be showing you how to do this. Probably I will. In my little, you know, in a future tutorial. Just some real cheap, quick things that even little children could make. Now this... My one son, who travels an awfully lot for business, he also said, they were all sort of brainstorming on Mom's business, and he said, "Mom, why don't you make some luggage tag holders, decorative ones, so that when my suitcase is coming off of the conveyor belt, I can see it." So I made these luggage tag holders. Aren't they pretty? With a tag, with it has a clear vinyl thing with your information in it. And I made, he's like, "Make a lot of them and you can sell them." So I made quite a few, right? A bit more masculine, larger ones. Oh, stupid idea. They were so fiddly and stupid to make. Made a bunch of them, didn't sell any of them. So that idea was I think the idea was good, but again, they're so cheap. So it was a lot of work, and I thought, I'm like, that's a dumb idea, mate. Forget that. Oh, I made tons and tons of burp cloths for babies. These are all flannel. This was easy, super easy. I got a bunch of flannel. real soft, delicate baby flannel. Oh, sorry, someone's outside. Um, um, and so I pre-washed all the flannel, and then I got a toweling material, real absorbent terry cloth fabric. And I just zipped up these rectangles, curved the corners, so it's all pre-washed, washed everything. I have made and I have sold them. They're really nice to get, oh sorry, my family, to give as little shower presents. That's a nice little gift. You know, I have them, the way I have them displayed in craft shows is with a little pretty ribbon, you know, for a kid to puke up on. Oh yeah, I got this. I did actually sell a couple of these. I was looking, you know, they're very delicate actually. Look what I made. I made little Chevron Banner, like for a party. I don't know if you can see that. All I did, scraps, all I did was sew triangles of fabric onto a bias tape. And then I added at the end, nice and thick, I added 2 ribbons to tie up to a tree or to 2 pillars. And look at that, just some scraps of fabric and you get a nice festive little party banner. I thought that was real sweet. And actually when I made them, I sold quite a few of them actually. I should make some more because they're simple to make. And again, I guess in party stores they're not real expensive, but how pretty. How pretty. There's some triangles of fabric sewn onto Uncle Bias tape. So that was nice. But the one things I did want to show you is I make these pot holders. Now, if you remember, my husband, my husband is from England, and so I lived in England for a long time. And in England, they don't do pot holders as Americans know them. We have little squares of fabric that are pot holders, right? Well, in England, they have what are called like oven gloves. I guess you can get them in this country. Most probably you can. We're in a first world country, aren't we? But I would go to England and get my oven gloves. And I'm thinking, do I know anyone that sews? So what I started to make are these insulated oven gloves, okay? Put your hand in there, put your hand in there. What a nice present. I have given these to people for little housewarming presents, and this is what I'm going to be showing you. They have a foil insulating batting inside of them, which I'm going to tell you about when I get to that tutorial. Somebody just commented that they use this thing, it's called Insulated, which I get it from Joann's. It's crinkly, and all of a sudden I realized, yeah, it is. Can you hear that? Yeah, it's a little bit crinkly sounding. I guess it's the foil. I don't know how you get around that. Yeah, until it was brought to my attention, I didn't really bother me. Maybe it bothers me now. No, but see, I add a little hanging loop, and I've made these and I've sold quite a few of these. There's like a bandana print. Again, it's not even, let me see. It's not even, it's like half a yard of fabric. A little bit of batting, regular batting, and then this Insulated, real inexpensive. And then I bind it. I'll show you how I do it. I bind it and bind it and bind it. But they're really nice little presents, don't you think? Well, I think they are. That's like a bandana. I've made ones out of, you know, people now have gray kitchens, lovely gray and gray and gray and more gray and tan and gray, or blue and white or red and white. I like red and white. So I had made a couple of them in the blue, like the China blue. And I make them in all sizes. This is a larger one because a lot of guys like them for barbecuing. Can you hear that? Yeah, it wasn't brought to my attention. Or when it was brought to my attention. I think that bothers me. Anyway, these are my oven gloves. These are my oven mitts. Little things I'm going to be showing you. There's ugly ones. Again, this is more like a barbecue, like an apron, a barbecue apron, man's size. You can make them any size. I'll show you how. Here's some manly ones. This is a a golfing motif. Nice way to use up novelty fabrics. Joann Fabrics especially, or online, has novelty, pretty little fabrics. I am going to be doing a tutorial a little bit later. Again, I don't know if I'm going to have time, if this is going to go on, because my camera just went off. That's 10 minutes. Sorry, on natter on. But I did want to show you, again, sort of a preview of what's to come in between making my quilts. I did want to show you a few things, whoops, oh geez, they all fell, that I have made. I actually made this little tote bag. Hope you can see it. It's pretty little, it's like a starry night with fake leather handles. When I make my handbags, they're more like totes, fully lined. I just have that in there to keep it nicely. I make them fully lined. I put inner pockets. I put a magnetic catch on them. I used my purchased handles, and they stand up real nice. And on the bottom, I actually, if you can see that, I make them. They have handbag making stuff, like handbag making fixings and accessories, and these go on the bottom, so your handbag isn't touching, the fabric's not touching the ground. Just a little finishing touch. I actually start out, again, you don't need a lot of fabric. Now this is actually, I gotta pull it out, I don't know where it is. It's a simplicity pattern. Now I don't know if I can show you, I guess I could. But actually, it literally, this is a simplicity pattern that I use, but it's two pieces. It's the side and it's the front. And then that's it. For the lining and for the inside. I made a ton of these, and I actually quilt. This is a quilted. So I've used a stabilizer inside, an inner lining, a batting, and then the fabric, and then the lining. So there's actually 5 layers. You know me, I like to reinforce, make everything sturdy so it doesn't, oh, excuse me, I keep burping, so it doesn't fall apart. I've made and I've sold a couple of these. People really like them. And then again, I attach my handles really, really good. So my totes, my little bags, stand this test of time. I like that. I like them. I actually quilt the fabric. So that's that. I may or may not be doing this. And I was just given, again, before I get to what I'm going to be doing a tutorial on, I was given from an older friend of mine, literally 100 yards of this lace. This pretty lace. It's, I think, for sort of maybe from the 70s or from the 80s. It's a bit of a stiff, it came on a roll, you know, like an industrial roll of lace, something. And she's like, oh, I know you sew. And I'm like, oh, thanks. What the heck am I going to do with this stuff? And then I thought, it's so pretty. This was an actual pattern too. Or was it? Was it a pattern? I think it was a pattern. Because you buy these handles, again, Joann Fabrics, you just buy the wooden handles, and this made up a really pretty, I have a little pocket in there, it's lined with a damask fabric, stitched really, really well, and I just used tons, and I don't know if you can see, I put my little flower on it and a little bit of a trim, so I make stuff like this, you know, yeah, that's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I made that out of all this lace. I now only have like 95 yards of fabric left. I'm telling you. So, but this I just made. I was real pleased with this. I just made this not too long ago. Look how sweet. Little girl's dress. Now this, is it? No. This is, I didn't have a pattern for this. I just cut this out to look like a little pinafore. Look at that. And then I just made the white body, as it were, of this, and then I just started stitching on this lovely pink and blue rosy fabric. Again, purchased handles. See my purchased handles from Joann? I fully lined it with a lovely blue and pink dot with a magnetic closure. It's a little bit tricky, but I make stuff like that. Again, I trim it up with rickrack. That's cute. But what I'm going to be doing a tutorial on, getting to it, very easy, are my drawstring bags. I make little drawstring bags, and they are magnificent. They're super. I must tell you, they're all lined. They all have French seams, no raw edges. It's sort of on the principle of my pillowcase, but a little bit different with the cords. They make laundry bags, fantastic kids to go to ballet, sleepovers. I make them with the top ruffle. I've made this one. This is cute for like a ballet. This is a shoe pattern. Again, novelty prints, after school, all sorts of really cool things. Any size. You can make any size. Again, this is a scrap of fabric, a half a yard, whatever, however much it is. Not even a lot, not even that, with some lining fabric and some cording. So I'm going to be showing you how to do this. Again, fully lined. I like stuff fully lined. I reinforce all the seams so they're sturdy. I make stuff good. So there's that. But what I was getting at is you can make them in a wine bag. Somebody had suggested you could make them this big. A little drawstring, beautiful little bottle of wine. So I'm going to show you the constructed method, and then you can go to town. Once you start making them, you'll be hooked. There's one I didn't do with a ruffle. I just did more of a utilitarian hobo looking thing with sort of a rougher cord with just the top. Again, all fully lined, made really well, real sturdy, sling over your shoulder, and, you know, go to town. So that, making a long story even longer, that's going to be my tutorial. Maybe it will be this one. Maybe this will be part one. Maybe not. I'll show you how to make these little tote bags. Okay. Yeah, folks. I was just looking at my video that I did. It's too long with my tutorial in it, so I think that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. I'm just going to sort of give you an introduction, have a chat. If you would like to have a chat, I like having a chat. Talk about things, and then I'll give you the tutorial, the next one. But I'm hoping that you enjoyed what I was showing you, all my little crafty bits. I'll be working on them. I'll be making my quilt blocks. But as I said, I want to keep, my kids were like, you really should keep your videos to, you know, 15, 20 minutes at most. And I get that, because, you know, you're not going to sit and hang around watching a 40-minute video. I understand that now, really. So you can just watch this. I'm going to throw this up on YouTube, and then you can just watch this space for my next one, for my drawstring bag tutorial. But this was just sort of a preview of what's to come, interspersed with my quilting. So I hope you like that, that concept. So thanks a lot.